Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grip Locks, Foundation Disc Golf's weekly podcast, now bi-weekly, because we got a major coming up. Tomorrow starts the Champions Cup, the first major of the year.
Is bi-weekly? That doesn't mean every other week?
Does that mean every other week?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
You would say twice a week.
Twice a week? No, there's got to be... There's got to be dual weekly.
Because weekly is once a week.
Two
bi-weekly
week
I'm pretty sure is every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two a week phrase. Sorry.
2 a week phrase.
Give me a second here. Bi-weekly or bi-monthly can mean the same thing because the prefix bi can mean occurring every two or occurring twice.
That's confusing.
Wow. Therefore, love when people use therefore. This is from Merriam-Webster, by the way. Therefore, bi-weekly can be twice in a week or every other week, and bi-monthly can also be every other week.
The English language sucks.
So
it really makes
bi-weekly
no sense.
because we have a preview show coming in right here. You're listening to it. Yeah, I know you're confused. This isn't Grammar Hour. Champions Cup happens tomorrow. Tomorrow through Sunday is the first major of the year at the beautiful WR Jackson. It's the first time Champions Cup has ever happened. Fourth major has been added.
I'm excited. I'm glad we have a fourth major. Yeah. Here's what I'm going to say.
Say it.
It's interesting that it's like a rotating event because, I mean, I feel like I'm getting like attached to WR Jackson already mentally. Mm-hmm. And
next year it's gonna be at Toboggan.
I don't know. I'm writing a whole blog post on like the whole major thing and like how to make them special. So you should check that out. It'll be out this week. But
where?
FDNsports.com.
All right, cool.
Here's the thing, because like I get that the invite structure that they're doing for it is really cool. That is going to make it special, especially when we're actually hearing about the qualification more, because like this year they just let a lot of people in no matter what.
But the Vegas, 2 people qualified for next year's Champions Cup.
But
we haven't heard about it yet.
Next year we'll feel it a little more because it'll be people like you have to win things or be above a certain rating.
They need to add that to UDisc. They have the USDGC one.
The qualifier thing. I agree.
Because like 2 people qualified at Vegas.
Yeah.
2 people qualified somewhere else.
The key thing, and they should set this in stone as early as possible, is that like this event needs to come back to WR like every 5 years. Like they need to set a rotation that the same courses are going to get used in that rotation, so that like, it might not be we're at WR every year, but like we get back to WR after 20 years, and it's like, oh, remember the last couple times this was played at WR? Like,
like pick 3 courses or something.
Yeah,
or
just a number of courses to where like
it's going to go to
they
Toboggan
have a
every
feel
year.
that's synonymous with that event eventually. Like it is going to take time. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited. You know, you just say the word major, and at the same time, too, like, this is the 4th one, so it's not even like they're adding a 5th or 6th. Like, 4 seems natural to me. So I'm accepting it as a major. It has a cool name, and they didn't do the dumb format, so I'm accepting that.
Yes.
And, you know, I think the players will treat it as such. I think they're smart for starting it at a course that feels special, you know, the site of the Hall of Fame and whatnot. I'm excited for it. In my mind, you know, it's not going to feel quite as special as the other majors this year, but it does feel more special to me than the other Pro Tour events this year, and that is important.
Yes. The course is what makes me the most excited for this major. WR Jackson, I think, is one of the best championship level courses on the face of the planet.
It's a great course.
And it's great to be coming back. They're very fair fairways, plenty of length to provide challenge to players. And
I would say there's probably like three holes maybe that are like kind of dumb, but the rest of that course is pretty solid.
But every
course
pretty much every single hole has an opportunity for scoring separation.
Yeah,
which is crucial, I think, especially with a major. 4
rounds, this much scoring separation at a course. I will be shocked if the best players don't rise to the top of the leaderboard.
I also think like there's a lot of chances for scoring separation, but WR Jackson in the past has always provided a tight-knit field. Like the top is always close to each other.
Yeah, well, I think especially with the field being as deep as it is,
it's more so like it prevents someone from pulling ahead,
right?
But it's not like a birdie or die course.
Right. It's not like we're going to get to the stretch of the tournament and it's be like, well, par, and he wins, and it's just super easy. Like, there is going to be a bogey birdie swing opportunity on every hole.
Because like even we were talking about this last night a little bit on debate night, the final stretch, it goes par 3, par 4, par 5, and it's pretty difficult par 3, difficult par 4 and 17. 17 is the one you have to hit the uprights right off the tee.
And then
eagleable, but also difficult hole 18.
Because the tee shot is super tough.
Yeah, if you get your tee shot in place, it gives you a chance for eagle, but it's still a hard second shot. If your tee shot's a little short, best you can do is a birdie. If your tee shot's off the fairway, sometimes the best you can do is par. and you still have to execute a tough shot down the last hallway. So realistically, you could see up to a 4-stroke swing on hole 18.
Oh, yeah.
So that's so exciting because someone could go into hole 18 with a 3-stroke lead, and 99% of other tournaments, it's over.
Yeah.
3-stroke lead, 1 hole to go, done. This tournament, 3-stroke lead, the guy steps up, hits an early tree, guy who's 3 strokes behind pures it and had to look at the eagle.
Yeah, the eagle is.
Like, oh boy.
I watched Gannon Burr on Instagram throw the easiest 2 shots for his tap-in eagle on the hole to make me believe like if you go pure,
yeah,
you got it. It's very easy to get that eagle.
Yeah,
but like
it's
par
very
is
easy.
always in play. You hit the first tree, you're making par.
Exactly. It's very easy if you execute both shots, which is how eagle should be.
Yeah.
You have to execute 2 great shots, but they're not easy shots to execute.
Yeah.
And then 17 is the same way. Like 17, if you get your drive far enough up the hill, you can get the birdie pretty easily.
Yeah.
But there's the gap right in front of you is so
It's
small.
so small. Oh my
that
gosh.
like I don't have a long wingspan. I can easily touch both trees. Pretty sure.
A tough hole.
But it may be a little wider than my hands.
Not much.
But it's very tight immediately off the tee to where that gets in your head a lot of times, and you're focused so much on hitting that you're not as much focused on how far up the hill your drive gets.
That's one of those gaps. I remember playing it to where it is so tight that you literally don't think about anything other than hitting the gap as an AM level player. Like all you're thinking is, let me throw a disc. I'm comfortable that it's just going to hit this gap. I don't care what happens after.
Yeah.
Because like it is so small. It is ridiculous.
And then the starting hole I think is great too. Hole 1, really the starting stretch. 1 is a birdieable hole, but it's somewhat of a demanding tee shot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not something where you can just like with nerves. Hole 1 can play very tough.
And that second up shot is pretty far. Like
Yeah.
it's not a super difficult shot
open.
if you're in position, but like it's not ever going to be routine.
Yeah. And so it's enough to make people think immediately. Hole 2 is birdieable, somewhat tough par 3, but the round just kind of gets going right away.
I'm curious to see how they set it up, and maybe you saw, because like when we played it, OB was not very prevalent on that course.
No.
It's just natural OB.
Yeah.
Like
it seemed the same on the caddy
It seems kind of
book.
the same, because that'll be an interesting dynamic is like we're going to see a lot of scrambling because there is a lot of natural OB, but we won't see players just getting penalized because their drives are.
No, the penalties on this course are just you're off the fairway.
Yeah, right.
Like being off the fairway, this course also like immediately off the fairway isn't awful.
Yeah.
Like you can
You
scramble,
can get pretty far back in there.
but the farther back into the woods you go, the worse it gets. Yeah. So a bad shot's penalized because the more you get into the woods, the worse it gets. But like immediately off the fairway, a lot of times you can find like some type of sneaky line where it's a lot harder than being on the fairway, but you can still kind of get up and down.
The
but
lines
the
are very
farther
fair,
off,
though.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's great as a spectator and as a player is out of a player's hands within the first like 5 seconds, you know if it's a good shot.
Yeah.
There's not like, oh, but he's got to sneak past this last little tricky tree.
No, yeah.
There might be 1 or
If you
2
hit
of
the
those
line,
on upshots, but
it
if
works.
a player hits the line, it's going to be good. I am curious. It's been it's been what, 3 years since we've seen W.R. Jackson on film. From what I remember, the live coverage signal's pretty good out there. But it's been a while since we've seen it filmed. I don't even know holes.
It gets back there in the woods a little bit, but I mean that place isn't really in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Hole that like stretch of like hole 4, 5, and 6 or whatever it is that they're like somewhat new holes that took out the Turkey Gulch.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how those holes have developed with like continuous growth. Because when it was there last time, those holes were like pretty freshly cut in.
The brand new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see those now because like when we played it, it was basically brand new and there was a lot of just like rough underbrush stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like down in the gulch.
Yeah.
Like if you ended up down there, it was.
But then now it's been 3 years. I'm curious to see what that looks like, how it's developed.
Yeah. It's going to be such a nostalgia trip. It's always so funny because when you've played the course before, like we have, and we've played it quite a few times, even in doubles. You see them step on the tee and you're like, you recognize that shot. You're like, oh, I remember what I threw. And then you see where their shot lands as a pro and you see them get up to their second shot and you're like, well, that doesn't look familiar.
Yeah. I've never seen this spot.
Like, you're supposed to be like short and left in the woods. Like,
yeah. What are you doing 200 feet farther than your drive's supposed to go?
That's not how this hole is played, but I'm looking for it. It's always so much fun when I have a history with a course to watch it on camera. Cause like you've played it and like even though I can't pick out every hole in my head, once they step up to it, I'll be like, oh, yep, I remember this one.
Yeah.
I would say WR probably has the best assortment of par 4s of any course on tour. I'd probably be willing to say that. Every par 4 out there takes 2 shots.
And they're 2 different shots.
They're 2 different shots. Usually it's like a hallway navigator where it's like more like open grass, and then that second shot is going to be wooded or vice versa. And I feel like every single par 4 requires 2 shots, and both of them need to be good. None of them need to be like that crazy impossible shot to where it's like you have to like birdie is not like a given, but it's very attainable with 2 solid disc golf shots.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of varying and like differences between them. Like there's a good variety out there for the par 4s, but I think people who haven't seen the course because hasn't really been in the spotlight much really at all. I mean, even when it was Hall of Fame Classic, I feel like we're kind of really just, there's so many new disc golf fans right now that haven't even seen it. But I think you'll understand. And because like a lot of people, I feel like for USDGC, it was kind of tough for them to get it. Because like it is, I mean, you look at it and you're like, what are we even looking at here?
Yeah.
But I think the new disc golf fans that are familiar with just traditional disc golf courses, this course will resonate. You'll kind of be like, oh wow, that is a cool course because it's more of your typical wooded disc golf course.
Yeah, and it plays very difficult. Double digits is possible out there. I think 10 to 12 is going to be hot. Someone could get like 13 or 14. Every hole is technically birdieable.
Oh, what are we?
But they're all so demanding.
We gotta throw out our prediction for
Texas
State's ended up being...
It's pretty close.
And we've also played close. WR, but not recently.
No. WR, I'm thinking it's 4 rounds. I think the winner is going to be 35.
I'm thinking right in there, too. I was going to say, if you average 8 under, you are really putting yourself in the mix. But I would say you probably have to average around 9 under.
Yeah, so 9's 36. So I didn't want to go quite to 9, so I went 35.
I like 35. I'll agree with that. I like 35.
I think
that feels right.
I think the hot round for the tournament's going to be 13 under. I think someone's going to get 13.
Yeah, and I honestly though, I bet that 13, if it's going to come from somebody who's a top player, it probably happens early in the tournament.
Yeah.
But it'll probably just be somebody random.
Or
like
it'll be
day.
Someone last day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's 15 strokes back and like, just pop off.
Once everybody kind of settles in, like those top guys in a major, 13 under would be crazy.
Yeah. On FPO, it's going to be tough to know what it plays like because they play from the shorter tees. Last time we were here, it was a 3-round event. MPO winner was at 25 under. FPO winner was at 4 under. And it was Sarah Hokum, and she was 4 strokes clear of the field.
Course.
She was the only player under par. I don't know if it's going to play quite that tough again this year. Players have gotten a lot better in the 3 years on FPO. But I don't think it's going to play much easier. So I'm going like FPO. I think
probably like
if
9.
a player can get to double digits under in FPO, they have a good chance at winning overall.
I would say if you get to double digits under, you win. Probably FPO.
I mean, but the tough part is like someone could shoot like 6 under in a round in FPO.
That would be smoking hot. That would be very impressive.
Yeah, it'd be a stellar round, but it also could happen.
Yeah.
So it's tough to know. Like,
it's just tough to
what's
going
to happen out there.
We haven't seen him out there enough, really.
Yeah. But, I mean, regardless, you can listen to the scores we just said, and you can tell how much tougher it's going to play than your typical courses that you play in disc golf.
The FPO and MPO probably as well. We probably will see a lot of fluctuating.
Yeah.
Because you can just go out there one day and you're just getting all the birdies, and one day you're not.
Here's a question. The player who comes out and has the hot round in MPO, and will also do FPO, round 1, do they win?
Who has the hot round, round 1?
Leader after one round.
It's very easy just to say no because the odds are greatly in your favor. So I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no in MPO, yes in FPO.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's valid.
That's what I'm saying. I think MPO, it's someone outside of like, I don't think it's Paul, Chris, Ricky, or Calvin that has the hot round 1. I think it's someone else, and then I think that they disappear. I think after day 2, they're not on lead card anymore.
I mean, that's a frequent. Well, here's how it works. If somebody in that top group that you mentioned gets the hot round, there's a really good chance that they win because those guys know how to go wire to wire. I mean, we just saw Dickerson do it not that long ago. I think it was at Belton. And but if somebody who is kind of under the radar, all of a sudden they're on that lead live card day 2 major with all these big names, that's when the moment a lot of times is too big for them, and that's why we see them fade away. So yeah, I mean, that's typically the
I also
theme.
feel like on a course like this where it is so birdie bogey, you'd kind of rather be the one chasing than the one being chased.
You'd rather be the one putting pressure on.
Because if you trip, then like if you mess up one hole, you just got everybody at your heels.
You don't really want to have a lead in a major. I mean, you want to have a lead.
Yeah, I mean, it would suck to have a lead in the major.
Comfortable spot, honestly, a comfortable spot is to just not really be leading the tournament until that round 4. And even then, having a big lead is an uncomfortable place to be.
You'd rather be like 2. I think the best spot, because players would probably pick this, would be 2 or 3 strokes back going into round 4.
Right, because if you're 2 or obviously, yes, you want to be up 2 or 3 strokes. But if you are 2 or 3 strokes back, you're not uncomfortable. You're hungry. You're looking to chase somebody down, but you're not feeling nervous and uncomfortable. You
don't
excited.
Have pressure on you.
No, you're excited for the opportunity.
Pressure you put on yourself, but you're
whoever
you're
that
not
leader
3 strokes
is.
lead.
Yeah, whoever that leader is, they're the one who are in the best spot, but they're also the most uncomfortable. It's kind of just how golf is. Like being in that lead, going to that final day, especially if you kind of have 3, 4, 5 strokes to where that is a cushion that you should be winning with. That's when it gets really tough.
Yeah,
that's tough stuff right there.
Now, one of the storylines with WR Jackson in general, in this park in general, is the spectators. So, I've talked about this before. There's only 400 tickets available a day. And before I talked about how they weren't sold out, a local told me that basically the VIP pass is sold out basically instantly, because that's the only way you can actually watch and walk with cards to watch the full round. And then the Bushnell Boulevard pass is essentially the trail system that goes around the park. So you can see some holes, but you can't see consecutive hole after hole after hole. And you're kind of walking this trail system through, and there's some holes that you just can't see at all. Those are the ones that, as of right now, still haven't sold out. So as of right now, there's still 160 Bushnell Boulevard passes on Thursday out of the 400. So on Thursday, there's only going to be, if everyone, because VIP passes, some of them were for the full weekend. Same with the Bushnell. There's 100 Bushnell Boulevard passes that were for the full weekend. So if all those people showed up on Thursday, then we're looking at what? 240 people out there on Thursday. And then 60 of the Friday ones are still available. Saturday and Sunday are fully sold out. So I really wish, first major of the year, I really wish we could see where, it's hard to know where disc golf is gallery wise, because the first major of the year, that's going to draw a big crowd. And could we have gotten 2,000 people out there? Who knows?
It is honestly, to me, it is still a head scratcher. I understand it's this really tough balance when you're selecting a course between catering to the broadcast and the spectators, which tends to kind of be one and the same with your course selection, or catering to just the history of the sport and the players, I guess, kind of. But galleries are good for the players too, in a lot of ways. But that's why the WR Jackson selection, while I like it as a longtime disc golf fan, number one thing you have to remember is you have so many new disc golf fans at this point that picking a course with history isn't really as important as they probably think it is. You can pick a brand new course, and guess what? This is day one of a new major anyways, so whoop-de-doo. And there's so many new disc golf fans that it's fine to do that, because I don't know how many spectators they could get. I mean, but we were at USDGC. I mean, there's thousands of people there, it seems like. So I'd like to think there's potential for a little more. I mean, 400 people, they're all going to be following the lead card pretty much on the last day.
Well, no, because...
Or how many of them are the Bushnell ones?
A lot.
That's
300 of them, I believe.
Yes, that's not good. That's not... that's where I kind of have an issue is
Now, let me double check that to make sure I'm not lying. But
you've gotta pick a venue that can suit more spectators, I think. I think that's just what it comes down to. I don't.
It's just so hard, because how can you have a
so
one course with
Saturday,
a lot of spectators?
200
right.
Bushnell Boulevard, and week-long Bushnell Boulevard was 100. So 300 of the spectators are on Bushnell Boulevard. And then there's VIP for Sundays, 25, and the other VIP is the week-long at 80.
Yeah.
So 105 people will be walking behind the card.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's nothing. That's nothing.
It's just not a good look for a major, because that is a big thing.
Well, it's also future clips aren't going to know, it's at this course with only this limited parking and stuff like that. You're going to look at it.
Oh, nobody was there.
Imagine the James Conrad throw-in with 100 people behind him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a huge moment in our sport. It's all over SportsCenter, all over everything. And there's one line of people
Yeah.
Right. It's a big deal that you see a lot of people there. Like, that's important for people to be like, oh, wow.
That's what we recently on our TikTok posted clip of Paul hitting the putt at USDGC.
People are like, oh my gosh.
Like, that many people watch Frisbee?
Yeah.
Like, holy cow.
Yeah, because like it was a huge gallery.
Exactly. Now imagine if that was only 100 people surrounding that whole one green. It'd been like, it's about how many people I expect to be watching Frisbee.
It's super important for the brand. It's so tough. But like, I really think like if I were running a major, a brand new major, even if I do plan on rotating courses, I'm going to go ahead and pick a course that I know I can get them as many spectators as possible, because I think that is a very easy way to really raise the level of legitness that people are going to perceive your event as. If you pick an area that is hungry, like full of disc golfers, and B, pick a venue that you can 5,000 people, sure, whatever, and like you can get a huge draw, people are going to watch that and automatically feel the atmosphere because it's loud. People are roaring all over the course, and you just see that many people lined up. Like it gives it a special feel. And I wonder, I guarantee you the PDGA probably had their hand in this because it's literally their headquarters.
Well, it's also a major.
It's their major.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
they definitely had their hands in it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
some would say they're the only ones with their hands in it.
Both their hands.
So like that's where, like, I'm not putting this on the tournament director or anything. I don't
know.
Like Robert Leonard,
told him
he didn't even have a hand in the format originally that he didn't he didn't agree with. I don't think so. I think this goes to the PDGA but like they're gonna have to realize something, like, because I think the Pro Tour wouldn't do this. I feel like the Pro Tour, well, they've done some things like this before, but like, it's
just a tough decision because the course is so good. The course is major level.
But
you know what I mean? But the property is.
It'd be one thing if it was like 1,000 people, but like if there's gonna be 100 people behind that last day card, that's just bad. That's too bad. There's got to be a number where you're like, that's a deal breaker. And you've got Bushnell.
Well, even if the max, like 400 people can be out there. So 18 on hole 18, 400 people can be in that. That's a warm up field though. I think they can kind of be in the field. The Bushnell Boulevard doesn't look like it allows them in the field. I'm going to assume they can be. But so hole 18 tapping out, you're going to have 400, maybe some of the players stay around.
That's just hole 18 though.
Yeah, and that's if they actually, because if you look at the map, they're not allowed in that field where I'm talking about.
Here's another thing you have to realize is when you are selling an event, your sponsorship activation doesn't end with the broadcast or
no,
with
the biggest
signage.
Thing for on-course assets is spectators.
Exactly. So Bushnell is getting a short end of the stick here, only having that many people there. You're losing opportunities to be able, like, I mean, if you're selling an event to somebody and you're like, yeah, we're going to have 10,000 people, whatever, 5,000 people on site, that's a huge deal compared to a couple hundred.
Well, also vendors are going to pay more to be there,
right, like,
all this stuff.
And like, I mean,
it's tough. They're in a tough situation.
The Pro Tour must get it because I mean, they just announced a concert series. Like I think the Pro Tour and like, it's almost like they're halfway there too, because like they're trying to like do these different packages and like halfway work for the spectators, but like you have to start at the starting line, which is actually making it so that a lot of spectators can be there in the first place.
Well, that's the thing too, is like it's just a tough situation because we talked about the course, how much the course is amazing.
It's a great course, but it's really,
like you need to pick that course up and put it on its own property where it can have 5,000 people.
It's a gut-wrenching issue in disc golf right now, and it's not really going to be solved in a way that makes everybody happy until more people create private disc golf properties. And I think that trend is hopefully going to start happening more. And at the very beginning, it's probably just going to be people that are enthusiasts and have land and are like, I'm going to make this course, because that's kind of what it's already been. You know, the Preserve is kind of like that. Maple Hill, like they didn't have to put a disc golf course out there, but they chose to. But I think that hopefully that will eventually be, that's going to be the solution, is when we have more disc golf specific properties. And like WR Jackson is a disc golf specific property, but it wasn't built to field modern disc golf. You know, it wasn't. That's not why it was designed. Because you can design, I believe that you can design courses that can have the best of both worlds as far as having some woods, but also being able to accommodate spectators. It just has to be thought out at the end of the day. Like we need to start essentially future proofing the courses that we design when we have the option available.
Yeah.
It's a very intriguing thing that's going to keep getting, it's going to bottleneck the sport if we can't figure out a way around it. Yeah. That's the last thing we want.
Yeah. Another thing that makes this tournament very exciting, being the first major of the year, is it's by far the deepest field of the year. There's 100 MPO players in the field, and only 3 players are outside of 1,000 rated.
How many players? I know you were mentioning earlier how many players like were under 1022. Do we know the percentage of the field? I was gonna say because like that'd be interesting to see just like what percentage of the field can statistically win.
No, yeah. I didn't do that math.
I'm gonna look it up.
This is also the first time this year that we've seen Drew, Paul, and Eagle in the same field. We've seen Drew and Paul in the same field. We've seen Drew and Eagle in the same field. This is the first time we've seen all 3 of them. So it's going to be a very deep field, very exciting field. Pretty much everyone's going to be there, MPO and FPO. So it's all signs point to a very, very exciting weekend. While Trevor's looking that up, I'm looking something up before I say it to make sure that it's public knowledge. It's probably enthralling content to just watch us on our phone.
This is pretty...
I'm having a great time.
Why don't you entertain him, Konner?
All right.
Okay, wait, I got it.
Nope, he's back. Sorry.
So if you were listening, it was last podcast, right?
Yeah.
If you're listening to last podcast, we talked about like the statistical thing of like if you are below 1022 rating, like you are like statistically, it's statistically impossible for you to win based on how much data was that based on?
It was like a 1% chance.
Well, no, that was for if you're 1022 rated. You have a 1% chance.
Yeah.
And then it goes up. Of the field of 100, only 45 players are 1022 and above. And quite a significant number of them, probably another 20 or so, aren't even 1030, which based on his stats, like you're probably still very, very low percentage chance of winning. So that's crazy to think about.
Okay.
So I guess technically only one person below 1022 needs to win to like change the statistic. Like give it.
What was the percent of the field?
55 people are below 1022.
Oh wow! So over half the field.
Yeah,
55%.
Yeah,
easy.
We're getting there.
Easy to do statistics when there's only 100 people in the field.
Yeah, baby steps. We're getting there.
All right, so some keys to victory here. Now these are based on me being able to play the course previously because the last time we were there wasn't U-Disc there, as far as I could find.
But we've been there.
Well, normally keys to victory are based on stats of like these are the stats that stood out that led someone to win last time. This is based on my gut.
To be fair, not only have we been there, but we've played competitively there. It's not even
we've played a major there. All right, everyone. We played a major at
and
WR.
Hunter came in third.
Mm-hmm. You came in third too, as a team.
That's right. You came in third as an individual.
Yes.
So this is a podium major finisher at WR Jackson. So you really should listen.
This thing on, listen up. Here we go.
Back when Hunter was good.
Yeah.
He was nasty.
Not really. I just popped off for a tournament. That's all I needed.
You also had to win that year, so.
I mean, come on. Stop it. Keep going. Keys to victory, MPO. First and foremost, I think it's a scramble rate. Pretty much no player is going to get through a round unscathed when it comes to throwing drives and everything. But the key is making sure that your scorecard doesn't show it when your drive isn't in position.
The damage.
Winner's going to have to get up and down more often than not. That's pretty obvious on a wooded course. The second thing is fairway hits, especially for MPO. I think having your drive in play is extremely crucial because it makes the second shots on par fours, second shots on par fives,
I think it's
so much easier.
I think it's going to be pretty tough. It is the type of course where once you get your shot in the fairway, it's pretty tough to make bogey.
Yeah.
There's a few exceptions, but like you're gonna have a really good chance to make par at worst.
Yeah, but you gotta be getting off the tee clean, and when you don't, you gotta be getting up and down.
It's miserable when you don't get off the tee.
FPO, I think one of the big ones out here is putting, because it's just a course where scoring is very hard and you can't be bleeding strokes on the green.
So
when you have a look at birdie, you have to be able to take it, or when you have a putt for par or bogey,
who are you talking to?
You have to salvage. The FPO listeners.
Referencing?
FPO listeners. Scramble rate. Realistically, real talk here. Evelina Salonen.
Oh, here we go.
If you can figure out point A, this course sets up for Evelina Salonen to win a major.
Okay, wait. Let's set a line. Because Evelina is dominant strokes.
She's
games,
so good at throwing, and this course is a thrower's course. If she can just
what percentage C1X does she need to be at to win? I'm going to say 50.
52.
52.
If Evelina
make a statement. If she makes 52%, does she win?
C1X putts.
C1X. Which
if Evelina Salonen makes 52% of C1X putts, she wins.
Wow.
There it is.
Wow.
There it is. Very brave of you.
Very brave.
C1X putts. So, I mean, if she's making 52% of that, hopefully she's making the X as well. I don't
know if I would guarantee it unless she makes like 60. He guarantees it.
That's 100 times guaranteed.
That's 100 times
guaranteed. But really,
guaranteed.
putting though is crucial out there because, like, for instance, Evelina, if you get to the green one stroke ahead of the rest of your card mates and then you miss that 20-footer, they might be 100 feet out, but they get up and down and you took the same score.
Right.
And that goes for everyone.
It really hurts to be bad at putting.
Yeah, well, especially on this course.
Being bad at putting is just so inconvenient.
We can all speak from experience.
It's what makes you so upset when you play with a new player.
Not Konner.
No, that's true. Konner's got a straddle putt.
I'm good at putting now, but I've experienced being bad at putting.
Yeah. And then scramble rate, same thing with MPO. Whenever FPO gets off, if you're in the FPO field, whenever you get off the fairway, gotta find a way to get to the green as quick as you can.
Gotta do it.
Because, I mean, minimizing damage out there, having a clean scorecard, that's going to be crucial on a course like this. Scoring's going to be hard to come by, and you got to find ways to do it out there. So, all right, for majors, prediction points are doubled. So if this is your first time listening to a show, essentially what we do is we pick first, second, third, and a dark horse pick. And it's kind of like Wordle scoring. So if you have someone in the top 3 but in the wrong place, you normally get 1 point. If you have someone in the top 3 and in the right place, you get 3 points. And then if our dark horse pick, who is someone outside the UDisc top 50 world ranking, whoever finishes the best of our dark horse pick gets 2 points. But for majors, it's doubled. So we're going 2, 6, and 4.
Oof. Boom. Man, somebody this week is going to have a devastating lead after this week. But there's 4 majors.
I was having a comfortable lead, and now it's
coming into this tournament, Konner is in the lead at 21 total points. I am in second at 14 total points, and Trevor is in third at 11. So, Konner, you're the current in-house leader. Let's start with you. MPO top 3 predictions.
Okay, I had a really hard time with my top 3 predictions. So what I boiled it down to, and I did not pick a choose according to this, so I don't even know why I'm saying it, but they just got to play good for 4 rounds. It's not going to be someone who's just good and can play well, but they got to play good for 4 rounds.
Very insightful. Love it.
That is incredibly insightful.
That being said, I booted Paul out of my top 3. I should have kept him in there, but you know what? That's what I wrote down, and so I'm sticking to it. I'm saying that because
I'm very happy to hear you say that.
That is an exact opposition of what I just said, because Paul is the most likely to play well for 4 rounds.
Correct.
Yes.
I don't know why he's not in there for me, because there were some other really good choices. My number 1 is Ricky.
Okay.
I think Ricky's got it. Then I got Chris Dickerson in second. Good in the woods.
Yeah.
And then I have Drew Gibson as my third.
Heck
not
yeah,
a bad
Konner.
pick.
I know it's of course not a bad pick, but
we haven't seen him since he won. He's got a new home.
For some reason in my head, he has the likelihood to do better. Like he has the potential to do better on this course than Paul. But is he going to do it for 4 rounds?
Now that's a crazy statement.
I know. I know it is.
That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so I'll go with my top 3 next, because I also don't have Paul in my top 3, but for an actual reason.
Yeah. Okay.
He's nursing an elbow injury. We don't know how serious it is, how much it's going to affect him. I don't think it's super serious, but I know it affects his forehand.
I think now you just said that, you're going to get a text later today, and he's going to say he's 100%.
He might be. I know it's affecting his forehand.
Lock it in, though, please.
I am. I know it's affecting his forehand.
Just to be clear, that had a little bit to do with my choice as well.
Okay.
So
okay.
I thought it was because Drew Gibson had.
I thought it was because Drew Gibson had more potential. Will he ever be more than potential, though?
Come on.
Exit 44 lyric. You wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it.
Paul, this is a course I think you're going to need a forehand on, at least some. And I don't know where Paul's forehand sits right now.
Doesn't know it.
And so, therefore, I'm not putting him in my top 3.
Yeah.
If Paul's 100%, this is the dumbest take of all time, because this is a course I think Paul will do very good at. And it's a major. Paul's major. But I'm going with Calvin Heimberg, 3rd place. Ricky Wysocki, 2nd place. Winning the first major of the year. Mr. Woods himself, Chris Dickerson.
I think we all have players in different slots.
So
he had Calvin third.
Calvin, okay. So you
have Dickerson
first.
Ricky, Calvin.
I think we're all going to have our players in different slots, which is great. It's going to make for a lot of parity here. I'm very happy that none of you took Paul, because that means if Paul finishes in the top 3, I'm going to get free points on both of you. And I feel like that was just
Really, the reason. Hold on. Can I say another reason?
Okay. Yeah. Keep changing it.
It was this. No, this was my actual reason.
Okay.
This guy's beating us by 7 points, by the way.
Yeah, he is crushing
Hey,
us.
come on, man.
Keep going.
This makes sense actually.
Okay.
Because
this is
what I was thinking.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Because I come in third. Paul's not gonna be in the top 3.
Because I had my choice. I genuinely want Ricky and Chris Dickerson first and second, and I don't think that. Again, we've talked about this. I don't think Paul is.
But you
third
didn't
place
take Calvin
person.
either.
Well, you're right. I don't think Paul is a third place person. So I think Paul's either pushing for first and getting hurt for it, or he's gonna be in the top 1 or 2. And so, but I wanted Ricky and Chris.
That's a fair argument.
That's fine.
That is actually what I was thinking.
So I have Chris Dickerson in third.
Until
I'll tell
5
you
minutes
another
from now.
thing in 2 minutes.
I've got Chris Dickerson in third. I've got Ricky in second, and I've got Paul in first. This is one where it was very tough for me to bounce Calvin out of my top 3. That one I'll probably regret, but I don't think Calvin is going to win the major. I think one of those 3 I just named is going to win it.
Yeah,
so I feel like
that.
that's where the guaranteed points comes in. And I felt the room vibe earlier that Paul was not going to be picked by at least one of you two. So I was like, I've got to get Paul in mind because that could just be huge. Because now if Paul wins, I'm getting 6 points gained on both of you. That would be big. I guess I'll lead off the dark horse picks.
Go FPO
first.
next.
Okay, I'll lead off with FPO. This is a tricky one for FPO. This course is going to be very demanding. There's really no telling what's going to happen, but I think 4 rounds is another one where it's you got to go with talent. I have Paige in third. I've got Katrina Allen in second, and I've got Kristen Tatar in first. I think she's a pretty consistent Woods player, and I think she's just going to play 4 solid rounds. I don't think she's going to do anything flashy, but I think she's going to hang around and just kind of hold on to it down the stretch.
All right. Going in for my FPO, I also have Paige Pierce coming in third. I have Kristen Tatar in second, though. I agree with you. I think that this course it plays very well for her strengths, but I think it plays for another player's strengths slightly better because Katrina Allen, for years, I've said is the best FPO thrower of the disc, and this is a thrower's course. This is a thrower's course. So this is Katrina Allen's first major win with DGA on her back. Congratulations, Katrina Allen.
Congratulations, Katrina Allen.
Maybe can you unblock me if you win?
No, dude.
I feel like that makes a lot of sense. I went in third place, Kristen Tatar.
Do we have the same people for everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, heck yeah.
But somehow different orders.
I have in third place Kristen Tatar, and then I've got Katrina Allen in second, and I've got Paige.
I like that we
first.
all have a different winner. We all have a different winner for both divisions.
Yeah,
because
I'm
have
just
Ricky.
thinking about
you had Ricky for MPO, right?
He has Ricky.
Yeah.
I have Dickerson. You have Paul.
Oh, this is great.
I chose Paige just because I could see her throwing this course better because
she
there
could,
were crushes and putts.
She lost by 4 to Sarah Hokum last time they were here. But this is definitely it wasn't 4 rounds. It was 3 rounds. So she would have lost by more if there was a 4th round. No, Paige betting against Paige in a major, I'd put her in my top 3 because I'm not stupid. Paige is gonna be in the top 3. Well, although you could say I am stupid because I didn't put Paul in my top 3 on the MPO.
Okay, stupid.
Thank you.
Stupid.
No, I mean selfishly, I hope I'm wrong with the Paul not being in top 3. I hope that he is.
Of course,
but unselfishly,
I always want him to win everything.
But I guess flip flop selfishly, I hope I am right because that'll give me more points.
That's crazy. You're living a double life over there. You're
Dark
like Hannah
horse.
Montana.
Dark horse.
Are you okay?
Dark Konner. What you got?
You're crying a little bit.
It happens.
You're really worried about Paul's
injury.
injury.
You know. Got me worried, man.
Okay. All right. My dark horse pick. Not going to go into it too much. Andrew Fish.
That's a great pick. I almost picked him.
There's no reason not to.
Well, here's the thing. Back in the day, Michael Johansson tore this course up, and I feel like Andrew Fish is like the reincarnation of Michael Johansson.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
Even though they're both still existing.
I kind of get that. Both still exist.
He reincarnated while he's still alive.
Yeah.
They switched bodies.
There you go.
Friday.
Freaky Friday. Andrew Fish is the Freaky Friday version of Michael Johansson. I picked this player for one reason and one reason only, and that was he was at the Battle for Bedford playing New London, and he played it very well.
Kinda.
And New London is similar to W.R. Jackson, and he's also very young. So my dark horse pick is Evan Scott.
I like that pick.
Moment's too big.
No, man.
All right.
I'm not picking him to win.
He's also very
I'm picking him to
nice.
beat Andrew Fish and whoever you're about to say.
He's
I've
really
got
nice.
Aaron
And his dad
Gossage.
is really nice.
Aaron
Aaron
Gossage has
Gossage.
just been he's just having a pretty decent season. It looks like to me, and he's like.
See a wooded player?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
No,
I thought we were on a wooded
he
course.
played well at
It's
Waco.
crazy, yeah.
Waco's kind of wooded, and he came in 5th there. So I saw that on his radar at least. He had like one bad finish this year, but the rest of his finishes this year would probably be good enough to win the dark horse pick. And he's right outside of the top 50. He's literally 51st. So that's kind of
Evan
cheese.
Scott's outside the top 100. So if he wins, I should get more bonus.
But he's on the rise.
Never negotiated that.
I did not negotiate that, and I will not take it if you try to offer it to me.
Okay. Well, that's my pick, Aaron Gossage.
There we go. So there it is. There's our predictions.
Great job, everybody.
Super excited. The major starts tomorrow. Be live streamed on Disc Golf Network or post produced.
What's going on Sunday though?
Post produced on all the other normal things. Sunday, we'll be doing a companion stream for the MPO final round. Should start around 2:30, 2:40.
TBD. Yeah, just look out for the tee time and know that we'll be there.
On our main channel, Foundation Disc Golf. If you're not subscribed there, we're on the road to 100,000. We're 72% of the way there.
I like that graphic.
Yeah, that was great, Konner. Well done. Can we just get some appreciation? If you haven't watched Konner's editing recently, he's been taking off.
If you haven't seen Techno Trevor,
if you've missed Techno Trevor, if you've missed Techno Trevor and Bill Gates, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Anyways, companion stream will be going down on Sunday. I believe Silas is in. There's a chance we'll have Bob Staub, not this Bob Staub, the real Bob Staub,
maybe
in-house, possibly. If nothing else, it should be me, Trevor, and Silas. Maybe a little Tyler Staub and Bob Staub action. We'll see what happens. And we'll have side bets for the Champions Cup. We have our own Champions Cup that we will be doing side bets for. If you caught last one when we freaked out because James Conrad threw in, and that's what ended up winning me that chair, we're going to have side bets going on again. One of us walking away with the Champions Cup. So
yeah, just pull us up on your other screen and
essentially,
watch along with us.
Best way to do it is have the YouTube tab open with the actual coverage on, and then have our YouTube tab open just in the background.
Or just go like TV,
phone, vice versa.
A lot of screens. People have screens on their fridge. Throw us up there.
Throw us on your fridge.
We'll be rooting on your fridge. You know?
Yeah, it'd be great. But if you don't have someone to watch, Champions Cup coverage with you, now you do. That's what we're here for. And it's going to be a great time. We're going to have tons of fun. Hopefully you have fun alongside with us. Yep. So, and then we'll be back on Monday to recap it all, it's going to be a great event, and talk about the first major year.
I hope nobody wins
down.
by like 10. That would stink.
It's not going to happen. Okay, before we go, what is the winner's margin?
Winner's margin?
MPO.
1.
I say we're going to a playoff.
Oh, playoff! Playoff would be sick.
I wonder
what holes
that'd be very cool. I want a playoff.
So you're going playoff?
But I think that it's going to be... Who do I have in first? Ricky? I think it's going to be like 1.
1. So 1-1 playoff is the predictions. Can't wait for someone to win by 5. We'll see you in the companion stream on Sunday.